A lot of times with this series, I'm looking at cards that are specifically at all-time lows, base copies more often than not that are going to be great to upgrade your decks with. However, I want to upgrade your decks in a different way, and that is visually with this episode. I want to make your decks look cooler. I've gone through and I've found some cool cards that may not be at all-time lows or may not be the cheapest version of the card, but they look very cool and they are specifically in low-risk ranges that I think will make them great pickups. But look, do me a favor, if you just want to scrub through the video and look at the cards that I specifically picked out, that's completely fine and I totally get it. But if I'm able to find you at least one card that's going to make your deck look cooler, drop a subscription and drop a like on the video and go share it to a friend before you leave. Let's talk about the cards. Joel R. Magic is brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your cards quickly and easily on the internet. TCG Player, which you will see in this video, the best place to go and buy them. Dragon Shield, the best way to protect your cards. And Moxfield, the best way to put your deck lists on the internet. Every card I've got picked out for this video today is either a special guest or a secret layer card that I think is highly playable in Commander and is a great low-risk pickup range for how cool the card looks. I want to start with Toski, Bearer of Secrets. Toski, Bearer of Secrets is a green and 3 for a 1/1 squirrel. It can't be countered and it has indestructible. It's got to attack every single combat, but, and this is why it's played everywhere, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. You're in your go wide strategy, you're in really any creature strategy that's consistently getting through and has green in the color identity with like trample, you're getting through, flying, you're getting through. If you've got creatures, Toski's going to help you draw cards. This card is constantly in green decks, and if you're not running it in a green deck, especially a creature-based green deck, you should be considering it. This is one of the Bloomborough special guest versions here. You can see the chart. It's fallen down from the like 18s that it was at, and we're getting down around 10s. You could potentially snap off a copy for under 10 bucks right now, but looking at around $10 to $12 for a copy of Toski, Bearer of Secrets. These BLB ones in particular, I think are going to go up over time. I don't think that what I consider the coolest looking version of Toski, Bearer of Secrets is going to be a card that is low value for very long. Looking at all of the versions of Toski you can get, we have the like Call Time Showcase frame, your base copy. Obviously, we've got the SpongeBob one there with sandy cheeks, but then that BLB special guest in just at the top of the pile for sure as far as looks. This is one of my favorite Reanimator spells of all time. Victimize is a black and 2 for a sorcery. It says choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard, sack a creature, and if you do, return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped. In Commander, most often, you are using this to sack a token and get 2 powerhouses right onto the battlefield. Looking at the chart for this one, it dipped and it's climbing back up. We've gotten some Reanimator. We had zombies in the last set with Aether Drift, the Sultai deck, and the Abzan deck in this set. Tarkir Dragonstorm's the most recent at time of shooting this. Those both had a Reanimator sub-theme to them. So I think people are looking at Victimize and going, wow, this card's great, and that version is gorgeous. This is an MKM special guest. You can see your other options here. Your OG art, you're looking at a retro version that's sweet. Your original Urza's version there with Zansha in the art. I personally like the Victimize from MKM special guest the most. With this, you're looking at around 12, 13 bucks on the low, but right now I personally grabbed a copy of this. I think it's a low risk pickup to go and grab a very cool looking version of Victimize. Swords to Plowshares with a cute little mouse on it, y'all. 1 white for an instant speed exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. This one, Path to Exile. If your color identity is white in Commander, you probably started the deck by picking your commander, putting a Soul Ring, an Arcane Signet, and then Swords and Path in there. BLB special guests in particular, I've had my eye on. I love these versions. I think they are going to stand out over time. People are going to want the cute mouse Swords to Plowshares, especially if we ever go back to BLB, which we probably will. Bouncing around in the, $12 to $16 range over the last 3 months, up 5% overall, but we're still within that like good range for pickup. Around $14, $15 is going to get you a copy of this one right now, and I just feel that way with all the BLB stuff. I think that this stuff long term is going to be pretty desirable. Swords to Plowshares is a card that has a ton of different versions here. These are arranged most expensive to least expensive. You can see it's up up there. We're not hugely up there. Strangely enough, you know, you've got things like the Fallout Swords to Plowshares above it. But when you're seeing, you know, an SLD version, the Fallout version, a cute little mouse BLB version, right under like the most standout Mischief SLD stuff, and then all the old stuff up to a serialized copy, I think that bodes well for our cute little mousy copy here being something that long term you might want to grab sooner rather than later. The Boogeyman equipment Ember Cleave in its showcase version from Special Guest Foundations. We got some Foundation Special Guests that had frames that were localized to the plane from which that card came. Ember Cleave with the Eldraine treatment here. Big fan of this one. This one's 2 red and 4 for a legendary equipment with flash. It costs 1 less for each attacking creature, and when it enters, it automatically equips. That's one of the best parts of the entire equipment. +1/+1 double strike and trample is what it provides to the equipped creature. Just so much avoidance and so much power here. You've got copies going for under $10 at this time. Around $11 is a pretty much guarantee. You can see a fall off over time there. I think that with so much secret layer, so much special version, so expensive for Final Fantasy products, so much attention on Dragonstorm, it's a great time to look at some of these variants that have come out in the last year or two before they get too far away from us and we're able to grab them for low risk prices. I really love Ember Cleave. This is the only different art that we currently have for Ember Cleave. That's kind of the point I'm making with this one, is for $11 you can grab yourself a copy and have something that looks unlike any copy of Ember Cleave that you could possibly play. Mary Weatherlight Duelist in the LCI special guest. This one's from over a year ago at this point with Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Mary's a white, a green, and 1 for a 3/2 first striking cat warrior. It says whenever Mary Duelist attacks, each opponent can't block with more than 1 creature this combat. And as long as Mary's tapped, no more than 1 creature can attack you each combat. It's a creature-based attacking strategy card. Fantastic card for those strategies. You can see not a ton of different versions. This one originally debuted in C17. It did get a Future Sight border in Mystery Booster 2 and an SLD, but this special guest is just a gorgeous copy. Really beautiful. I love it. And so for me, around that 5, 6 for light play, you're getting up into 8s, 10s for near mint copies. I think it's a really good time to grab this. If you got any cat decks, if you got any green-white creature decks, attacking stuff, equipment decks with green-white in the color identity, Miri's going to automatically go into those. Lord of the Undead. We have had so much zombie love this year. We got a zombie precon in Aether Drift. We got a zombie light precon with the Sultide deck in Tarkir Dragonstorm. And Lord of the Undead special guest came from Aether Drift. Now this one's got insane looking art, really over the top, lovely piece here. 2 black and 1 other is going to get you a 2/2 zombie that says other zombie creatures get +1/+1. And for 2 mana and a tap, you can return target zombie card from your graveyard to your hand. It goes in Zombie Kindred automatically. This one's around that like $9, $10 for the near mint right now. This one had an interesting version with the all yellow first place foil copy out of Aether Drift as well. But you can see as far as the value goes, people aren't really super high on special guest Lord of the Undead. It's got pretty wacky art. Not everyone's going to be a fan of it, but if you do like it, it's in a great pickup range right now. You know, you're competing with basically the base art from Braum that they've used for every version, other than the SLD here, which is Lord of the Undead on a motorcycle, and Centurion of the Marked from Fallout, if you're a Fallout fan. So it's really dependent on if you think that this will make your deck look cooler. Lord of the Undead available for a good range. I got blown out last night by this specific copy of this specific card on stream with the patrons. This is how I died. I exited the game by taking a Chandras Ignition to the face from a very powerful creature. 2 red, 3 other for Chandras Ignition. It's a sorcery, says target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. Fantastic. Big creature deck with red in it. Boom. Here's your board wipe. Each other creature, each opponent. Not you, not the creature that you've chosen. It will hit your others, but that's okay. This one's fallen down from 20s up into the like 10s, 11s right now. This is the time I would pick this one up. I love this piece in particular. This art is just so wonderful to me. Chandras Ignition has had some versions. We've got the Miku layer copies there. You've got your special guest DFT from Aether Drift, and it was also in the first place foil if that's something you want. A little bit more expensive, but really gorgeous version here if you're able to pay over $50 for your Chandras Ignition. If you're not, the special guest base copy looks just as beautiful to me. I would definitely be grabbing a copy of this if you don't have it. I thought this card was going to do more. When it popped onto the scene, it's a 2-mana clone. You know, CEDH really loves these, but it just hasn't caught on as much as I thought it would. It's been pretty volatile. It's up 8% overall, but right now in that like $5 or $6 range, really, really low risk pickup. A blue and 1 for a 0/0 illusion. Fantasmal Image can enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it's an illusion in addition to its other types, and it has, when it becomes a target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. I think there were a lot more clones in the format when Dockside was legal. Let me know if you're a CEDH player and you can speak to that format, and let me know if Fantasmal Image didn't make it like I thought it was going to make it in there. It's the only different looking version. If you don't want the Nils version of Fantasmal Image, this is your copy. Creepy Clown copy is your option. It depends on if you like it, I guess. That's really what it comes down to. Low risk pickup though. Kai Carpenter blew this piece out of the water. I am in love with this copy of Expressive Iteration. It's a red and blue for a sorcery. It says, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, one of them on the bottom, and exile one of them. You can play the exiled card this turn. This is such good, just card advantage, hand fixing, card draw, whatever you want to refer to it as in red, blue. It's good in Commander. It's good outside Commander. This is just a card that should be on people's radars. $5, $6. That's where it's at right now if you want to go get a copy of this. Expressive Iteration doesn't really have that many variants. You got 3 different arts here. One is a secret layer prize. One is the promo. This is the one that most people go for, is the like special looking version here from the promo pack with the special border. But this special guest MH3 version there, I'm such a fan. This is absolutely one I'm picking up. You always see Shalai, don't you? Everybody plays Shalai where the card is relevant. Shalai, Voice of Plenty, is a white and 3 for a 3/4 angel. Gives you planeswalkers you control and other creatures you control hexproof. That is why it is in most decks. It is a flyer 3/4 that gives everything else hexproof except for itself, basically. Creatures, planeswalkers, and you. You can also pay 6 with 2 green to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So it's got applicability in go wide token decks as well as angel decks, and really anything where you want your creatures to have hexproof. Shalai, Voice of Plenty came from Secret Layer here. This copy's around $12, $13 right now. We're pretty far away from this layer. You can actually see the price there rising over the last 3 months. This one came out in 2021, but you can see it's the only alternate version of Shalai right now. That won't be forever, but pretty sure that these SLDs, that these special guests, those arts won't be repeated as far as we know. And so right now, if you want a different copy, Shalai, Voice of Plenty, they're in the SLD top left treatment. That is your option. And at around that $12, $13 range, I think it's a pretty safe pickup. I can't tell you how many times I've been blown out by this card too. You never expect the Ink Shield, but the Ink Shield always hits hard. A black, a white, and 3 for an instant speed. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt to you this turn. For each 1 damage prevented this way, create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. This is from a special Sheldon Meanery Secret Layer that dropped after he passed away. If you're not familiar, Sheldon is looked at as the godfather, the creator of the Commander format. So grabbing a copy of Ink Shield for around that like $10, $8, $9 looking range there. If you're looking at the, certified reputable sellers here, $8.71, $8.26, $8 with $1.30 shipping. Not going to be that expensive to grab yourself a copy of Ink Shield right now. And you can see this is the only version that's got any sort of different art on it. The original C21 copy is where this card debuted, and it's had that art across all versions except this SLD specifically for Sheldon Meanery. This was kind of a pet card of his. I personally missed this layer. It's a layer that I FOMO'd. That's how I feel about this secret layer. And so I've been watching the singles to try and grab them at good times. And I think right now you can see it's been pretty growth heavy over the last 3 months. This is one I want to kind of grab on the way up before it goes any higher. Danitha Capuchin is 1 white, 2 other for a 2/2 human knight with first strike, vigilance, lifelink, and aura, and equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. This is a version of Danitha Capuchin called Neve Black Talon. This was a secret layer Warhammer card. This is such a cool looking version of Danitha Capuchin. If you want a different copy, you've got pretty much the Jumpstart 2, or Jumpstart 25, sorry. Danitha Capuchin over there in the anime. But this SLD version, she just looks like such a badass in this art. I'm personally a fan. I don't know this character, Neve Black Talon, but if I was building Danitha into a deck, which if you're building an aura or equipment deck and it's got white, you definitely need to be running this card. This is the one I would pick. Around $9, $10, $11 is going to get you a copy of this right now. Fallen off in the short term over the last 3 months, not a ton. You can see 11 to 10 and back up. But right now, I would grab a copy so that my aura and equipment decks could get that much cooler looking. SpongeBob as Jodas the Unifier just came out, but that means that right now these are flooding the secondary market with people who just wanted certain pieces or people who bought a bunch of copies aiming for the low rate pulls in the secret card slot. Jodas the Unifier is 1 of each color for a 5/5 human wizard. Legendary creatures you control get +X/+X, where X is the number of legendary creatures you control. And whenever you cast a legendary spell from your hand, you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a legendary non-land card with lesser mana value. You can cast that card for free, and then you put the rest on the bottom in a random order. This has become the de facto commander of the meme SLD all legends sort of deck, where it's every single creature that you could hit is a character from a different IP. I've played against the deck a bunch. It's fun to play. It's fun to watch. It's, you know, it's a Jodas the Unifier deck at the end of the day. So it's like kill Jodas as much as possible. Destroy SpongeBob. However, if you want that deck, if you want that card and you missed the SpongeBob layer, now's a really great time to not only go look at SpongeBob SquarePants, but go look at any of the other cards from that drop as well. That drop was ordered. People loved that one. And people liked to buy extra copies to try and chase the low rate secret cards from it. So right now, being able to grab a copy of SpongeBob for under $10, I don't think that's gonna last forever. This is one I'd be snapping off immediately. I really liked how they went back with Dan Frazier and did a bunch of retro frame mana rocks. Felwar Stone here from the Secret Lair drop series. It's a 2 mana rock. This card is played so widely. Retro frames not for everybody. Dan Frazier art's not for everybody. Retro frame Dan Frazier art is very much for me. Felwar Stone is a card that I didn't get. I believe this was a secret card that could come with some of the sets. I missed this one somehow. I don't have a copy, and so I want a copy for under $10. You can see it's been in slight growth over the last 3 months. This is one that I feel like it won't be reprinted in this frame with this art, and so I want to try and grab a copy for the decks that I want retro cards for ASAP. $9, $10 will get you a copy of Felwar Stone. And look, there's a lot of versions. 4th most expensive is the one we're looking at right now, around that $9 range. We've also got the ball from the 40K SLD, and you've got a 9th edition foil up there that I'm pretty sure is driving a huge price. Yep, those 9th edition foils, like the edition core set foils before them, they were in white border, but the foils were in black border, and the foils just look gorgeous from that era. 7th edition, those kind of cards. Those look so sick. Felwar Stone, it's a widely played card, and if you like retro frames, this is a sweet version to grab. One of the earliest secret layers brought us this copy of Birds of Paradise, and I love this. I think it's such a beautiful version, just a realistic, almost scientific manual version of Birds of Paradise. I really love it. You can see it's been growing in the short term. Fantastic mana dork. Under $9 right now. You're looking at about 9 or 10 for a near mint. And look, Birds of Paradise has got a lot of different treatments. This is a card that they stay reprinting. Your 7th edition foil, we were just talking about old foils. That's got the highest price there, even more expensive than a serialized version of this card. You've got secret layer copies. You've got my personal favorite Birds of Paradise, which is the Imagined Critters right there in the middle of the screen from Bloomborough. You've also got your Ravnica remastered copies and all your old stuff past that. So this is a card that is heavily reprinted, and I think that's why the price for special versions can stay as low as it is. You can see our SLD version from 2020 coming up there on the far left, right next to the Rainbow Hummingbird version from the Lord of the Rings set. Just a great card, great treatment of it. If you like this art in particular, good time to pick it up, low risk. It's been around a while, it's printed in 2020, so it's definitely gotten some love. I would grab one around $10. I like this card a lot for that price. I want to take it over to MTG stocks for 2 bonus cards that I just want to talk about. These have been on my radar and I'm not really sure what to do with them yet, but I want to draw your attention to this. Inventors Fair. This is the Stark Expo copy of Inventors Fair from the Marvel Tony Stark Iron Man secret lair that we first got. This one has been slowly climbing up in price. There's also the Blasphemous Act from the Deadpool secret lair that's got him on the moon snapping with Thanos' gauntlet and destroying the Earth. Now, this card just was released, and we're going to see even more non-foil copies of it hit the market when WPN stores receive theirs. But my thinking is this: Marvel is going to happen more and more. We've got Spider-Man coming. We've got more Marvel sets past that. And there's always going to be more Marvel SLDs. I think that Secret Lair Marvels dropping randomly is going to be a way of life for the next few years. I think that as players start building more and more Marvel decks, basic standards that have already been printed in a Marvel treatment like Blasphemous Act, like Inventors Fair, for artifact decks, people are always going to want this. And if you've got an artifact-based Marvel deck, the Stark Expo Inventors Fair is probably the one you're going to want to go for. If you're building a Marvel deck with red in it and you need a copy of Blasphemous Act, this is probably the one you want to go for. So as we get further and further into Marvel MTG, I'm definitely keeping my eyes on cards like that to see if maybe they're going to pop because they'll be so desired. Let me know what you think of these cards down in the comments below. I'd love to talk to you about them. If you got any cool cards that you're going to upgrade your deck with, click and like, click and subscribe. Super helps me out. And if you want to support me directly, go check out our Patreon. Tons of cool perks. Get involved. Come play Commander every Thursday night with us over there. We'll talk to you soon. See you in the next one. Bye.